Hey everybody, Andy Wegman here from Manchester Acupuncture Studio. Wanted to give another porch-side dispatch update as to the state of reopening of MAS clinics. We've got a lot of emails and phone calls asking what the deal is with the reopening. We appreciate the inquiries very much. So as many of you may have heard, the governor's reopening task force had their attention turned to proposed guidelines for the reopening of acupuncture clinics in the state of New Hampshire, and those guidelines were approved. They now go over to the governor, who is expected to give his stamp of approval perhaps as early as Friday, which is great. It's an excellent first step. To be frank, however, just because the governor deems it a safe time to reopen acupuncture clinics does not mean that we do. There are two other big pieces of this puzzle for us. The first is the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, long ago issued guidelines for a particular metric to be seen as a good harbinger of time for businesses to reopen, and that is a consecutive 14-day reduction in community transmission rates. And although rates have declined in New Hampshire, they have not done so for 14 consecutive days. And we anticipate transmission rates to spike a bit as other businesses have begun to open. So we'll continue to keep an eye on transmission rates and abide by CDC guidelines. The other big piece of the puzzle in a more practical sense for MAS is the guidelines that were approved by the reopening task force, along with other national and regional recommendations for safe running of acupuncture clinics, require some significant changes for MAS clinics in relation to how our facilities are set up, what sort of protective wear is required for acupuncturists and clinic goers, disinfecting procedures, how money is exchanged, how people enter and leave the clinic, among lots of other details. We've always been an organization that runs on a real tight budget and a small staff, and the changes that are required of us to reopen, preparations for those changes are in full swing and have been for a few weeks. But as the guidelines continue to kind of become more public, we want to make sure that we're heading in a real clear direction and preparing as we need to provide a safe space for our staff and for you as well. That is our primary concern and aim. So as we are all looking forward to reconnecting with all of you who we miss a lot and getting back to slinging needles, we need to make sure that we're in a place to do that in an appropriate way. So if I were a betting man, which I am not, I would say we're probably looking at mid to later June, assuming that the green light is given by the governor over the next few days. There's a good bit of work to do between now and reopening. So thank you for your patience. We will certainly be in touch via updates like this. Best way to keep in touch with reopening goings on is to subscribe to the MAS newsletter. You can sign up for the newsletter with a form at the bottom of every page on the MAS website, manchesteracupuncturestudio.org. Or you can keep an eye on wherever you're watching this video as well. And that is it. Any other questions, use the contact us form, shoot us an email. I am the fool who answers those emails, and I'm happy to write back. And in the meantime, I hope you are managing to enjoy some of this glorious weather. And even though Memorial Day takes on a real different feel this year, I hope you manage to have some good time with family, friends as you're able. Until then, we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.